from Rebuild the Galaxy in Rebuild the Galaxy Series 2, not from. I guess the minifigure is from Rebuild the Galaxy Series 2. And as you can see, between the custom minifigure I've made here with the Bugs Bunny head mold and then the image taken from the show, it's definitely the Bugs Bunny head mold used, not the Nesquik helmet, not the bunny from Winnie the Pooh, definitely Bugs Bunny. But looking at both those minifigures, where we left off, we had the red torso, the red legs, the white boots, and we were onto the hands and the head, which is what we're doing today. Hello there, Archer. Ooh, that reminds me as well. But I have something to admit. I may have worked on it just a little bit since the last stream and added just a little bit of detail, you know, a bit of leg printing, a bit of the torso printing. Originally, I said I'd just decal the front of it, and then I looked at the Santa Claus and thought that was cheating. That's what Lego do. Lego print the bricks. Can we get this brick built? And I'm not sure the top half is perfect, but I think from like the middle of the torso down, this is looking amazing. Anyway, we'll take a look at that in just a second, because last stream, I forgot to show off the brand new member to Master Mouldie's members, Monolith. Archie, you do have a towel right at the bottom in bright green, and I've got a plan for the final row as well. So if you would like to see your name among the other members supporting the channel, then get in quick. We've got the rest of this row and one more row to go before I have to decide what we do next time. I'm definitely leaning towards just doing a second members board, or maybe trying to expand this one. I've also, since printing that towel, reinforce the base. We have 2 feet now, which I might actually print some rubber 2x4 tiles. I don't think Lego make any, but that would also make this non-slip, so it wouldn't be slipping anywhere. But this stands up the base, the front and back, because the back half is connected with 1x1 little pins. The 1x1 round tiles with the pin sticking out of them, it does mean that that bends more so than not, but the base plate's only taken up with that pin a half plate thick space. So I was able to math out some snot bricks, get the 2x4s on the bottom, and now we've got no worries of it bending and splitting apart, because that is in there solid. I'm definitely leaning towards, we had, for those of you that weren't around end of last year, we started off a 16x16 members board, filled that up within like a few months. Now we've got the 32x32. I'm wondering if a 48x48 members board is too big, if that's like in terms of display and fitting it. So I don't think that's gonna stand up too well on the back. We could get it next to the Slave One maybe, but then it's all the way back there and you can't see it as well if it's out of the front. So I'm gonna decide, or the alternative for that would be to have it like down here on the wall, somewhere where it's seen a lot in videos, but I still feel like it's not right in your face, you know. In college right now. Oh nice, what are you studying? No Lego courses in college as of yet, but who knows, one day. Guess it's architecture, and that's, don't know if that's taught in colleges. But before we work on the hands, which are white, so hopefully we've got all the elements in white, just want to show off a few features of Jaxxon. We have the interior, which has been hollowed out. Only the pieces necessary have been kept inside. And now we have a custom minifigure. Yeah, no chance were they ever going to sit up. There is just not enough height. Hello there, welcome. We can lay Jaxxon down, but I'm not sure if we'll get a second minifigure in there. I'd love to do a display at some point that has minifigures in the torso. You could even probably hide 1 or 2 in the legs here, none in the arms, maybe another one in the head. So keep an eye out if I ever do something like that. That's one way to display minifigures, in a giant minifigure carry case. But Jaxxon does fit inside. We'll have to give them a bed or something. And then on the front side, we've got the leg printing with the little Karma-esque bit going down the side. Same on the hip as well, covering up that one grey plate. Look at this, it was covering up that one lone grey plate in the middle. That bugged me. I tried to find it in red, so instead we got the tail going over, and then same with the torso. As you can see, just how Jaxxon is. And this is a brick built upscaled figure, completely brick built using the same connections as Lego do for their official sets, both in the legs and in the arms, which can support themselves. But let's give Jaxxon some hands. And I feel like this is pretty easy. I should have had a little look. I guess it is like a mech. Now that we've got Jaxxon on the inside, completed level 2 and level 3 patisserie chef course. And now you're completing a level 3 manager course. Oh, nice. I remember that now. So the other day we were breading chicken. Not the hardest thing, but it's quite fun to do. And we added a bit of cheese in it. Now we are never going back. Cheese breading on chicken, on any food, probably, is very nice. All right, I'm gonna get up the do we need the instruction? No, I'm gonna get up an image of Santa Claus so that the hands are, you know, same as the other Lego ones. We don't want to be mocking it out to look any different, especially for Captain Rex. Actually, yeah, why don't we use Captain Rex instead? We've already got a big fig here with hands. So we need 1, 2, then some slopes. Right, that looks fairly straightforward. In white as well. I should have an abundance of these elements. Thanks to the Grogu pod for the slopes. I don't know about the underside of the card. Slopes seem, even the cheese slopes, most of my cheese slopes are white and grey. 1x3s we've taken a look at for the boot. Did we save any? Yeah, handful. Only need 2. Oh, for not Rex. Yeah, Rex isn't a mech. Rex is missing a hand. Oh no. Should have given a warning behind that. Let's just hide that away. Rex isn't a mech, but I would have loved if the helmets come with a little interior, because there's so much space in. I mean, you can see the exterior of the helmet is pretty much all there is. Inside Rex's head is just a hollow block right in the middle. Same with the Boba Fett one. That one's easier to show. And I'd love for Lego to have included, kind of like the Disney, kind of like the plant pots and stuff, to included a little interior, maybe even like a Slave One cockpit mock-up. You can see, just based on the shadow, how hollow Boba's helmet is. There's maybe like a brick or 2 surrounding it, and then nothing else on the inside. So much space to create some sort of interior. Jaxxon's is from Legends Alfie. Yes, all the way back from 1977. Jaxxon was one of the first Legends characters ever created, alongside the Mind's Eye original sequel to A New Hope before Empire Strikes Back. There was a different sequel. Good book, actually. If you're into Star Wars Legends books, it's not half bad. Yes, Boba Fett. This clip technique on the side is technically illegal, so it pops up from time to time, but we'll forgive Lego. One illegal technique here and there doesn't hurt too much. Those clips, though, are not going to be handy for mocks. Fan of the movies, not the extended stuff. Well, Jaxxon is canon, but yes, still only in the comics, I think. That was the Boba helmet. Let me grab it. It's been a while since I spoke about it, but this is my Boba helmet that's been modified for Jango Fett, but with the original set, not this modified version. Well, no, it carries over to the modified version, but with the original set, the clips on the inside holding on that shield piece are an illegal technique. They don't line up mathematically, which, you know, Lego are usually on that sort of connection and can fix it up. This one's better. I think it's this side that needs to be folded in just a little bit more, but doesn't have the space. But I'm sure Jango's helmet has a bit more space on the side. Would I say the extended stuff's worth taking a look at? I think it's worth taking a look at, you know, so someone, if you find a video on Jaxxon that's like 10 minutes long, that could be quite cool, because Jaxxon's made his way now into a Star Wars show, into a few different comics here and there, and some of the comic stuff is nice. Hello there, Owen. But yeah, in terms of going back and reading everything Jaxxon's in, Legends is, well, from 77, so as old as Star Wars canon. Jaxxon was introduced on the cover of the 2014 comic. So he weren't in the original Star Wars run. It was when Marvel got their license. I think the comic come out early 2015, but they got announced 2014. And his first appearance must have been a few years after that, because Jaxxon is a Marvel character. Jaxxon, early on, when Star Wars was launching, George went to Stan Lee to some extent and gave them the Star Wars license for comics, which helped not only Star Wars take off, but also Marvel then explode into what it is now. And Jaxxon was one of the first characters created for Star Wars and for the Marvel collab as well. Missing a brick on his head. Let's see. This isn't the original Boba Fett. This is the one modified to look like the Jango Fett. So that might be where the brick is missing from. But like I was going to say with the hand, I have completely forgot that every minifigure, well, yeah, every minifigure, unless you've modified your Luke Skywalker, has 2 hands. So we're going to need double the parts, 4 of each of these slopes, and double all the other parts, which means more 1x3s, more 1x3 bricks. Good thing I know I've got some of those. Of course, Owen. 1x3. Oh, they're 1x1s. Oh wait, no, that's 1x3. I've got 1 stack of 1x3s, and then I've got 3 1x1s next to each other. I thought they were 1x3s. On the top, oh, it probably fell off just when I dropped the side. You said you met Hayden Christensen May 4th this year. Nice to see Hayden and Ahmed getting back into. You know, all of them that worked on the prequels. Nice to see them getting back into Star Wars and getting the reception they deserve, not just being like booed off stage and bits like that. Have I seen your new mocks? No. What have you been building? Where's the, what do we need? Car parts and slopes. Both of those in the big tubs. There we go. If you do want to share any of your builds that you've been working on recently, for everyone this goes for, definitely share them on the community. And also, YouTube have been rolling out a lot recently. They've got hype on videos. I don't know if it works for live streams as well. I'm not quite sure. Not quite sure the limits yet. But on videos, there's meant to be a hype button where the share button, like button, subscribe, where they all are. There's a hype button now, which is to help push out videos of creators under 500,000. I had a little look, and I think Jade from Little Mix had the top 10 spots when they launched it. But yeah, it's creators under 500,000, and the smaller the channel, the more valuable the hype point. So interesting. It's basically bringing back the trending page with a little competition, which is fun. But not sure how long that'll be around for. Right, now we need 2 more slopes in white. Ooh. That might be a colour I don't own, Tor. Why are Legos so expensive? Well, it depends on the set. Legos are both expensive and not expensive. And I think it's just a smart business move now to have some more sets that are a bit cheaper and some that are a bit more expensive. But it does suck if, from a perspective, right, we'll take Star Wars. Take Star Wars, for instance, the new Juggernaut. That is a very expensive set. And if that's the one set you want from this year, it's... oh no, Legos! Oh no! Hopefully they're not watching. The Legos company. Surprised no like knockoffs have tried to steal Legos, plural, for their own. I can see that happening. But yeah, it depends what you're picking up from Lego. The Juggernaut is a lot of money in terms of parts. It's just not worth what it is. And you've seen that, no doubt, from the retail stores selling it for like 20% off day one. So unless you're buying straight through Lego, I don't think anyone's paying full price for that set. I don't know, some stores probably tried to catch you out early on, but at least for the most part, stores are understanding it's expensive and trying to reduce the cost. So I upgraded my lightsaber collection. Yes, I'm working on getting that orange bar. It won't be long. What I could do is replace the car part with just slopes. And I have a feeling slopes are going to play a big part in today's stream for the head, so I'm going to keep this tab out as well. Juggernaut and MTT have gone down in smooths a little. Yeah, I know it's September. Well, it is September, but early September, they went down 15, 20 quid. Juggernaut was 140. I think it's 125, which is nice to see. 125, honestly, I think that's still £5 too much. 120. 120 would have been a good price, similar to the ATTE, especially because the parts used. The Juggernaut to part out costs £80. So, yeah, really, if I was paying for that set, I'd probably pay about 90 for it, just because of the parts that you get in. But the minifigures are what makes you want to buy it. If you're happy spending £50 for 5 minifigures, isn't it? Mouldie, Bakara, and do you get 3 Novas? So, like we discussed, £10 a minifigure. The minifigures are more than £10, trust me. They're worth more than £10. You're getting your money's worth, but it does depend how much you like the figures, yeah. Some sets are definitely instant buys. For me, the U-Wing was one. What else? Trying to think what else was an instant buy, because we sat on Ahsoka and the Ark in January, which honestly Ahsoka I don't think was too bad. The Ark, yeah, you could see the Ark was going on sale, and the U-Wing has as well, a third off since it came out. Trying to think, oh, Tantive Boarding, that was last year. Tantive Boarding was an instant buy. That was pretty good. Second hand saves a lot. Do I have the Black Series of Jaxxon? No, I didn't realise there was a Black Series until, must have been after the stream. I saw an image when I was scrolling through Google and I didn't notice there was a Black Series. It looks a lot more like the original version of Jaxxon as opposed to the newer version. Have every colour lightsaber bar. The only one I'm missing is this is from the short earlier. The only bar I'm missing is the brand new orange one from the Force Burner Snowspeeder. I have the exclusive purple to the light up window, the exclusive yellow to the DC exclusive set. I'm not sure if that set was exclusive actually or just old. And then a few like glow in the dark, dark sabers, and I've started adding Ninjago. I know that's not every Ninjago weapon, but that's all of the ones I own that aren't just regular swords. And that last one's pretty cool. Come with like 2 axes and then a 1x1 printed tile, but I thought that was a lot to include with lightsabers. When I said pounds, you thought I meant weight. £140, what's that, like 70 kilos? That would be worth it. That would be worth it at Juggernaut prices. Yeah, that's the British pounds, not the weight. Minifigures are the go-to sometimes. Bad sets could have good minifigures, and I think good sets could have bad figures as well. Just got your new Arc windshields, and they didn't give you a sticker sheet. So you got unstickered windshields. Oh, how odd's that? I wonder what the thought was behind that. Without the sticker sheet. Are they expecting you to... Maybe there wasn't a thought. Maybe they didn't realise. But it seems quite funny. Just peel off the stickers, reuse them. You can peel off the stickers, but I think with translucent stickers, when you peel them off and reuse them, it's... the actual sticker has some lines in it from the adhesive. Oh, I kind of want to tile off this front bit. Do we have any 2x3s? Oh yeah, there's one. I know that's not how Lego do it, but I don't think we're going to be giving any weapons to Jaxxon. Got to order some replacement parts anyway. Yeah, I got the replacement cockpits for the Arc 170 and Fox's torso, which I'll be talking about in a video. Eventually I'll get around to it. Once we've gone through Rebuild the Galaxy and all the other shows coming out. Do I have a clone helmet in the back? Yes, sorry, I missed that initially. That's my very first 3D printed project, which it was fun to do, but for the first project, it was quite something. It uses a recycled COVID mask inside as the eyes and the little bit of the nose. Took just over about a spool and a half of plastic filament, and you know, weeks of printing, weeks of prepping, weeks of gluing together, and then prepping again for the painting. Very fun project. But I would recommend, if you're getting into 3D printing, don't start with a helmet. It's not the way to start. It was a bit too much, and I haven't done a helmet since. It's been years. I think it'd be cool if in the Star Wars magazine they did the Cal Kestis, but it was random hair, random saber. I do want to see more random, especially for the troopers. Even just for the stormtroopers, we get so many heads with them. The magazine is the place they could do the random head, because it's just a free gift. You're not buying it for the poly bag legally. You buy it for the magazine, and the free gift can mix it up, just like the random poly bags we get with them. Which, speaking of, every store I've gone to for the Marvel magazine, every store I've gone to has the both Thor and Iron Man and Thor and Groot magazine. So it seems they're given the same random poly bags to every store, because everywhere has both of them. And it is the Iron Man or Groot as the bonus magazine. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how we're going to go about doing the head. Let's get some slopes. There we go. Favorite Jedi, not including Grey. Oh, definitely for me, Ahsoka. Although, you could argue that Ahsoka isn't a Jedi, so I guess I'd go with Luke. But is Luke a Jedi? Oh, I would say after that, probably Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon, Yoda, Kenobi. You know, you probably see where I'm heading after that. How are we going to build Jaxxon's head? I'm not worried about colour. I mainly want to focus on getting the shape, and then we can worry about what bricks we have in what colours after. Because, well, I think the ears are going to be fairly straightforward with the plates and the slopes. Magazine, you're not liking the magazines. Your shops have Groot and Cap. Oh, interesting. So I guess not everyone has the same two, but it does seem that stores do have two. Always the same figs. I can see that with Marvel, they are cycling through updated versions of the figs. I would like to get some more builds as well. Even take a Gonk droid at this point. Yes, we need a Servo and Viper twin pack, duo pack in the magazines. That would be nice. But I do think having so many minifigures in the magazines is a lot. It's a lot. I'm looking forward to the next Marvel one. Not the Spider-Man, the Avengers one, because of that Black Widow. Star Wars actually dropping 2 days in the UK, 2 days, and we get the Darth Maul in the tin, which hopefully isn't going to cost more than like $7.50. It's 8:23 in the morning in the States. It's 2:23 over here in the UK. How wide is the head? So it sticks out just to where the arms go. I think 2 slopes should get us there pretty quickly. Perfect. So we've worked out how to go about expanding the head, and then we need like 3 tufts to come out there as we go up. We don't all get misprints. Good point. My Qui-Gon. I am so happy I got the misprint Qui-Gon. Not the beard, but the hair with the white stripe in the hair. I would like some more builds. It feels like ages since we got a build. And I know there was the Defender. Completely missed out on the TIE Defender, by the way. Crazy how that just passed. 623 here, Washington. Even earlier. Unpopular opinion. Don't think named characters should be in the magazine. Because you couldn't army build. I think certain named characters get away. Darth Maul gets away with it because of the eyes. So I do think Darth Maul with the eyes. I'm trying to find out how many Darth Mauls I own. There's the Phantom Menace. There's like a Clone Wars version. Oh, there's a few Clone Wars versions, but I have the Season 7 and the Solo version. And then there's my custom one. Do I not own like a Rebels Maul? Okay, well, that's going on my wish list. But I own 4 different versions of Maul. So 4 magazines is probably the same price with delivery that I'd pay to get it on Bricklink or anything. And maybe Maul could be used not only for those characters, but also for Dathomirians, like Savage would also work in a magazine. You got the beard misprint. Yeah, I have a very, very rare Qui-Gon that most people are never going to know existed. 25th anniversary minifigures, definitely not in the magazine. Oh, the 25th Maul. I don't own the 25th anniversary Maul because instead of getting the book, I was going to get an original minifigure. I thought that'd be better without the printing on the back and get some of the other characters, and I never did it this year. I was going to get a ton of like the old Qui-Gons and stuff like that. Who's my favorite clone? Oh, my favorite clone, I'd probably say like Jango, which doesn't work. Jango's the only non-clone. Boba's a clone, Omega's a clone, Jango's not. But Jango did have a spot. My gingerbread clone trooper, custom, would go up there, but official Lego clone, I'd probably say Rex. Rex, Fives, or the Bad Batch Echo. It'd be one of those 3. Maybe it is those 3. 1, 2, and 3. Have him in the sealed book. But I can't believe that Lego books now only have that one little bit of paper separating the minifigure. I feel like that's very risky. Well, the minifigure does come out. The head sticks out real quick. I think I'm going to go with a 2x2. 2x3 is too much. Just a little. Yeah, Rex in the microfighter. Actually, Boba in the microfighter. Boba did clearly say he's not a clone, but he is. He's an unaltered clone. He's a clone at heart. I think Boba just wants to get accepted into Mandalore. Maybe Mando's his foot in the door. Who knows? You've got the Bo-Katan riding the Mythosaur clan versus Boba Fett riding the Rancor clan. And then you've got Mando and his Mudhorn signet out bounty hunting. I can't wait for that movie. Oh, bugs. Nah. We'll go in the middle. And in terms of filling, how are we going to go about stocking up this head? Could use some 2x4s. I think that would work well. I think also, if I can slide this on just out of view, that'll save me keep picking it up and dropping it back down. Where did Jaxxon go? Aha. There we go. For reference. Bought some more Lego books that retired yesterday. Oh, that are retired yesterday. You went to a boot sale. I see. Trying to get £50 for an unboxed Vader helmet. For a used unboxed Vader helmet. It's crazy. That's like retail, more or less. Yeah, Vader. I get a lot of them have, well, some of them have stickered elements. Some of them don't have exclusive elements. Oh, I don't think Boba has any exclusive elements for the helmet. The Trooper does, and a lot of like the Imperial Pilot has the 2 dishes on the front. I think the 8080 driver is the same. So those are going to fetch a bit more in the aftermarket, but it's mainly going to be those dishes. And printed bricks do not cost a lot whatsoever. There's the printed bricks for Maul's Sith Infiltrator, and they go for like 20p. That one printed brick on the top, the dome, goes for about 20p, which is really not a lot in terms of Lego bricks. You'd expect that to go for so much more. Hello there, knees, if you like. Now, for the corners of the head, we're not going to be able to get away with a regular 1x2. Well, we could try, but if we do, then it leaves the front exposed, and there's a few ways we could play it. We could just use snot bricks to try and cover up most of the front, but we could use snot bricks, couldn't we? And then it might make detail in the face. How close is Jaxxon to bugs? Oh, very close. They've even got like the teeth sticking out. And there's a lighter green patch. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So we could detail the face using some snot techniques, or we could use a snot brick. I guess either way we've got a snot brick in here. What looks better? A snot brick or a bracket? Might even sneak a bigger bracket in the middle somewhere. Oh, a bracket goes all the way down. Yes. Oh, I guess we're using the slope still. That was easy. You're going to try to see if the Rebuild the Galaxy Chewie scowl is the same as the IRL one. Oh, that's a good idea, to go back and have a little look at scales, and also to look at the minifigures that haven't been released. Because in there, in Rebuild the Galaxy, Pieces of the Past, we saw, I can remember the Kylo from episode 9 with the stab wound from Rey. And, well, of course, there are a few costume changes for like Maul. But in terms of minifigures we haven't seen, there was Kylo. Oh, Kylo might have been the only one that popped up for like a second in a scene. I'm trying to think if the General from The Last Jedi, if that was a new character, General Emat. I think that was the same minifigure that was used back with the set. But yeah, there was a new Kylo Ren from episode 9. Maybe we'll get another Kylo soon. We seem to be getting simple minifigures a lot recently. And then on here, we can start sloping it off. It looks like we're going for grey. So I guess I'm going to continue this grey theme in. And we'll see where we end up. I don't know why I picked grey out of all of these, but it's what we went with. No going back now. Just watched Revenge of the Brick, weren't mentally prepared. There we go. And not only does the head stick out, but it should be roughly flush with the rest, and then we'll just have to add snot bricks as we keep going up. Which isn't as hard as it sounds. Oh, so I'm going to slope out the front. I wonder if a corner slope would be better for that. What are these for? For the cheek? If it works, it works. One more. I should really be using some of the green. I don't think there's a green. Oh, I thought this was sand. Oh wow, this looks sand green in the tub because it's reflecting off. The whole side of the tub looks sand green actually because it's reflected off the desk mat. Maybe I don't have any sand green. There's a few different shades of green. I'm not sure there's one that matches that Grogu or Jaxxon look just as much as I'd like. That is a Baby Yoda / Grogu. That was the penultimate project we worked on. I think we did that before the Battle Droid. I think we're going to be needing a lot of 1x2s as well. So the good thing is if we make this head as sturdy as we can, then we're not going to have to worry about any of the bits falling off when we colour swap the slopes on the outside. I say grey. I feel like light grey is quite valuable with Star Wars. So I'm leaning towards black or dark grey even. Or doing something like white. We've run into an abundance of those. And then getting some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Take a look at this stack of 2x8 bricks. This is all of my 2x8s in black. And I've had to remove them from the drawer just because I own too many of them. I think I got a load of these when I was doing my original minifigure display. And yeah, now we've got a ton of them. So let's use them. How early are we talking, Moonshoes? Let's see. I've got 3 of them. I think I only need 1 to start off with. Okay, that's not standing. Don't want that falling. And then we got to work on the back, which I want to say is like a replication of the front, but it actually doesn't come out that much until we go further up. So we're just going to round off the back. And that can be done using similar techniques to the front, but if we swap it to a 1x3, and then we can get some rounded arches. And in fact, if we build this whole thing in grey, I'm sure I'll be able just to colour swap it. Oh look, more 1x2s. They're going to be everywhere. No problem, Archer. Oh, nice. Not bad. It's like a day off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Kind of need some snot bricks. How are we working the mouth? So based on Rex's helmet, I think that's where that very top bit. On Bugs and on Jaxxon, they have a top bit between the ears, and that's going to be the height. So if that's 2 bricks tall, say about that tall, the head's going to be that tall. We've got eyes for like 4 bricks, a little nose sticking out, which I don't think Jaxxon has. So we're going to ignore the nose. That'll be a print. And like 3, 4 bricks of mouth that we want to round off. Not sure how rounded it will be, but we will want to round it off a little bit. And also make sure that it's not gonna get in the way of spinning. Make sure we can spin it both ways without getting it caught on any of the tiles, maybe even just raising it with a 4x4 plate if we're worried about those tiles, because Rex is hovering 1 to 2 plates off the base. So does the head pop off completely? Hey, it does. Success. And then we'll get a 4x4 round plate. Do those exist in red? A few exist in red. Just to increase the height of the neck by 1. Very stubby neck anyway. There we go. That would be the little gap. Actually, the little gap we see would be green, wouldn't it? I think red works with a connection to the neck. All right. May the bricks be with you, Alfie. Oh no. Hello there. Hello there, Danny Rain. Welcome. Everyone in there, everyone just hiding away their screens when someone walks past. 1, 2. That's a 6. We could just build up the interior and then get some brackets on the side. We'd need a 4x6 to bring this base together. And also, we need to work in these slopes on the side. Huh. Maybe once we secure these top ones in, they'll be all right. One way to find out. 4x6. And then slopes. Let's get those as well. Get those ahead of time. Slopes. brackets. And there was something else that I've forgotten. Once Jaxxon's done, I don't know what the next upscaled project would be. Because we've done like Rex, we've done the Grogu and Pram, we've done the B1 and Stap. I do want to build a bigger set. We'll have to see. Maybe with January coming out, we could try to upscale either the Battle Pack or Mando Speeder. Could be a good one to upscale. Not sure we got the space for it, but you know, we'll work that out when January comes. There we go. I wouldn't mind building Mando Speeder upscaled. As long as we're not building like the AT-AT upscale. Eventually we'll get to the bigger ones. Still find it funny. Oh, the Din Djarin. Yes, the Din Djarin hairpiece. The Din Djarin hairpiece has actually led to another short as well, coming out soon. Keep an eye out for that. Unrelated to Din Djarin Star Wars, just, you know, rolled over from it. Alright. Let's secure this. But it definitely is a bit funny when you see a short pop up. I got so many shorts in the works actually that I haven't got around to yet, just from doing, you know, crazy projects like upscaling a minifigure that doesn't exist. That's more like it. Solid as a rock. And I should be able just to pop it off. Those plates ain't going nowhere. That's the interior of the head, if you were curious. Yeah, there's so many shorts that I haven't yet made because of various reasons. No reason specific, just hours in the day sort of thing. So plenty more from where that come from. And these are going to have to be great. So one by 3, is that too wide? No, not at all. 1 by 3 works. They're the far side. Like the joke in Rebuild the Galaxy, stop messing with your hair, it always looks the same when Sig is playing with his wig. Yeah, just rotating it a little bit. In fact, it does look the same as the first one. They didn't even change the hairpiece in the minifigure. I wonder if that was just for that joke. A lot of characters, especially Anakin Kenobi, go through a few age jumps, but like Luke, when he becomes a Jedi, his hair is then a bit neater compared to the messy look, which is a piece shared with Sig. And that new Sig minifigure also has a new... That new Sig minifigure also has a new face, which both of them so far are exclusive to Sig. Didn't realise that. Considering Dev is more or less the same minifigure, it's interesting to see the progression. I guess it is because Dev doesn't change between seasons, yet Sig does go through quite a few changes. It is, yes, I agree. It was nice watching. We watched season 1, rewatched season 1 before watching season 2, and back to back they work so well. Even if they are technically separate seasons, I don't know the angle of that. I don't know if it is because there's no real way they can go on from here with Rebuild the Galaxy, I don't think. We've seen the break the build, which was the whole thing about season 1, to break or to build. And then we've seen the no Lego, you know, the Dark Ages aspect of it. And I guess the only other way they could really do it is more the collector's sort of glue take that Lego Movie did. I don't know if that would work as well in Star Wars. Yeah, I like the unthermal detonator. That was good. that's just a carbonite grenade. There are some really funny moments in Rebuild. So next year, I wouldn't mind seeing a new show because of how successful Rebuild the Galaxy has done. But I wouldn't want something to try and stretch it out. Because ironically enough, Jaxxon did have allegedly a knockoff. It was never proven. But there was a series following a rabbit that looked a lot like Jaxxon. And that wasn't too successful because they just tried to, you know, it was the one comic book run that then they re-released. They made an anthology book of, they made a animation adaptation and tried to do more with that. And the second story was never published. They could do an Inflate the Galaxy where all the prices are sky high. No, they should do something where you have to just pay for every episode. And as it goes, like the finale is silly money. Just as a publicity thing. You know, we're not gonna pay for that. But you have the odd land members, I don't know, sent the episodes with their value. That would be quite cool if they could get some community members, not land members, but some members of the community into it. That was a Nestle quick commercial. Oh, speaking of Nestle, spoke about them last time on stream. They're coming for a sponsorship now. Technically sponsored the advert section. Not sponsoring the video. Not getting that much money from it. Yeah, I was having a little look. What set was I having a little look at? There's the Sith Infiltrator with Maul being on the next magazine. And the price of it, I was shocked at just how affordable it is. Like recommended price, we're talking, not on sale. Recommended price for the Sith Infiltrator was £60. And pieing out the set is 50 something pounds. I think it's like £52. So we'll round it down, make it seem better than it is. £50 for a set that's priced at £60 with that like 90 quid Saw Gerrera minifigure. That minifigure, I mean, you probably pick them up for like 20 quid, but I've seen people trying to sell it for as much as the Qui-Gon, the rare Qui-Gon at that. Obviously, I've seen it, so it's not been selling for that much. Still online. But yeah, people will try to make money off the anniversary minifigure because of how good they look. Top quality minifigures. Where do we go from here? We've got the sides. Oh, I quite like these slopes acting as the outside bit. Maybe, oh, if we add a plate in between, we could get some cheese slopes to, not even a plate in between. We could still add bricks to the rest of it, but add cheese slopes in the middle. Something like that, and then they'd stick out on top. Do the same out the back. Then we need a 1x3. This whole thing has been built with, I wonder how many 1x3s have gone in this model, because we used 1x3s for the legs. We used a lot of 1x3s for the legs. We used a few 1x3s on the torso between every other 1x6, and now we're using 1x3s on the head, and we use 1x3s on the hand as well. A lot of 1x3s in this. A lot of 1x3s. Wait, I just grabbed a 1x2 from the 1x1s. No, that's not right. Did I? Must have been. And then we can get slopes out the top. Like that. Or we get slopes. Let me grab the slopes. Nope, slopes are in the drawer. It's going to be the hardest part of the build, trying to get those 3 little tufts out the side. That works. Right, that's 1. 2 does seem to be a bit bigger though. So if we could have that, does it stick out? I'm using Bugs Bunny as a reference still. It kind of sticks out a bit more. We'd need like jumpers with that coming off of it. Or we could do that and add a slope on top, but like a 1x3. Because the top one is then where the cheek comes in into the head, which is probably even thinner than a minifigure head. Which minifigures do I have? I have a zombie. Can we see the zombie head? No. Can we see Bugs through the zombie head? No. About the same distance. So what, 6 studs? 6 studs wide where the eyes are. Makes the eyes easy to create. There we are. Same on both sides. Even add a 1x2 out the front. Give some depth to the minifigure. Like that. There we go. I quite like that. And then I don't know if we'll continue it around the back, because we'd need either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We need a 1x10. Or we could cheat and use we could cheat and use what, 1x2s instead, and then fill the rest up with bricks. Because 1x2, oh no, that's a 2x6. Oh, I thought it'd be a 2x4 in the middle. Moving on to yellow bracket, and that's where the mouth is. So, and now we've got the chin out. The mouth could curve around the side. I think we leave that spare. Let's get 2x6s. Oh, is this 2? 3. Where'd the brick separator go? Oh no. There it is. Mando and Grogu movie trailer just released. Has it? Crazy if so. For those of you that didn't see the community post the other day, I posted about the fact that Mando and Grogu's trailer since Star Wars Celebration spent 150 days on YouTube, and suddenly Disney have taken them all down. So there's definitely a trailer drop. I mean, allegedly the trailer's out 51 minutes ago. The trailer is out in theaters May 22nd, 2026. Oh, nice. I wonder if there's any new shots. All right, you get my live reaction to the trailer. That was the Razor Crest with a bit of yellow. That's like the reverse N1. Wait, are they going to explain this or leave this up? Is that? Oh. Okay, that's the new main character. This is definitely like season 2, I think, at the start of season 2. No, give him the bow. It'd be cool if we saw Coruscant in the Mandoverse again, because I know we've seen it, but Mando hasn't been there yet, so it's not the same. And what would also be cool? Oh, hey. Yeah, so this is mostly the trailer from Star Wars Celebration. Okay, there's quite a bit new about a minute in. Oh, that's not an AT-AT, that's an AT. That's one of the Rebels ones that we see in the animated show. Big drop. So I assume that's going to be the set. May 26th. Oh, nice. The new Razor Crest with 3 yellow stripes on the top. Yes. Hopefully we don't see the N1 destroyed. What would be sick, right? And I know looking at it, that's just straight up a Razor Crest. But what would be sick is the way the Razor Crest is shaped with the 2 engines and then the long bit of it. I appreciate that, Moonshoes. I would love to see like an N1 that would then dock with something like the Razor Crest. Something between the two of them would be a crazy combination of speed when needed, and then you've got like the... I think for Mando, especially staying with the bounty hunting, he doesn't need like a Fang Fighter or an N1. He needs that Razor Crest. So I'm excited to see how he gets that back after the last one was obliterated. So, you know, I need to get some shields on that if he wants to keep that around. But the trailer looks sick. Yeah, cannot wait for that movie. And all the little bits in between around that minute mark. We get like shot, then shot, then shot. We get some like hammer drones from Marvel, but the Star Wars versions. We get, which I was expecting the Death Troopers Lego sets to be that sort of build. That would have been awesome. Maybe we can get a Lego set of that. And everything in that trailer was just nuts. Oh, my toes. Yeah, I'm debating seeing that one in cinemas, but the only problem is like a couple months down the line, I think it's 45 to 90 days. It was going to be on Disney Plus, and if I'm paying for Disney Plus, like, yeah, if I see everything in cinema, I'm gonna have to have an excuse to have Disney Plus. So we'll see what the hype's like and what the popcorn buckets, more importantly, what the popcorn buckets are like. That would be nice. But I quite like that trailer. It didn't give us much to work with. Guess it's new material from any speculations we got for a lot of YouTube creators. Yeah, been there, done that. It's fun. It's fun taking a little look and speculating with it. Let's run through. Let's have a look at the Mando and Grogu trailer. What would I pull from this whilst I'm piecing together Jaxxon here? All right, beach, but this ain't the California one from Andor. That Razor Crest looks so good. The 3 yellow stripes. It's definitely feeling like with the N1, where it was originally a yellow ship. They kept a few yellow stripes on it. It's kind of like Mando's ship signet, you know. You see a silver ship with yellow markings. That's the Mandalorian, and it does seem to be not just a piece together. Like the other Razor Crest had so much greebling on top that this one's shiny. This one's been bought or like given as a gift. Oh wait, there's obviously Grief Karga won't be in the movie because of the actor's passing. But he did give them a house. I don't think Navarro had its own shipyards, but also Cara Dune was in the New Republic, so helping with the Imperials and, you know, defeating Moff Gideon and that, which is all going to go to Mando. I wonder if this has been gifted by the New Republic. That could be quite nice, especially to mention a few characters without their inclusion in the movie. Because if they were to just whack like just like Luke drops off the keys or something, or 3PO pops up again, I think most people would have had enough with all the characters popping up. It's nice that Mando's in his own world. Not done with the Imperials though. Some sort of Imperial base. I do like the scene at the table with the bowl. It was very much like the meeting of Cara Dune. And also, even season 1, the very first episode where we meet Grief Karga, it was very much like that. That whole, I guess, bounty hunting. Goes back to A New Hope with Han Solo, meeting Kenobi and Luke. But that bar, that is some posh establishment. Maybe this is another bounty that draws some... Is the person ahead? The person in front of Mando, are they headless? Are they missing a head? Or is that just... is that just me? There's some Orbesh. It's not too clear, and it's upside down and mirrored. So I'm sure people will be breaking down what that says in due course. Don't think that's going to have any relation to the story of Mando, but it will definitely have some nice Easter eggs. Just like Han's bar or Han Solo's bar in Indiana Jones. No, the person isn't headless. Frame by frame, you can see a head pop out at the end. And I don't think that's a mistake. Yeah, the next scene, definitely a head on that character. I thought Mando had just beheaded him. Oh! I missed the Grogu leap. Some really nice aliens in the background. And Grogu learning to swim. Oh, I missed Zeb as well. You can see Zeb who smashed a stormtrooper. Is that... It is a storm... Oh, yes, right on the right eye as well. That stormtrooper's at the least blind. In a hallway. Again, it looks quite fine for Star Wars. We're used to seeing some roughed up things. The light looks like a Death Star. It's got like a gap in the bottom, but it's got a ring around it and then another gap near the top. Not quite at the top. Hello, little Death Star lights lighting up the hallway. Haven't bought the first Razor Crest. Definitely buy this new one. Oh, they're definitely going to release a set. I would love to build the UCS one and try to add some yellow stripes to it. Got 2 free basketball sets and Pick-a-Brick at the Lego store yesterday. 2 free basketball sets. Oh, nice. Is that with points? I think a YV 929 armored freighter could look good. Is that doesn't sound like the only freighter I know is the Han Solo one, and it doesn't sound like that. Oh, this would work. Could you imagine the bounties he could pick up in this bad boy? That's nuts. Head on Rex looks too big for the body. It's actually quite to scale, but the clone helmets are too big. Scale-wise, the clone helmets are too big for minifigures. This is the helmet set on the Rex body. Actually, I want to say it's near enough perfect. There must have been a reason I built the upscaled body like that. But yeah, it's definitely too big scaled to the movies. It's a bit like the droids. The droid builders that Lego released, the droid builder set with Chopper, the 4 droids, has got some backlash for not being incredibly accurate, though it's exactly accurate to the Lego scale. The Lego R2-D2s and these Lego droids, it scales to. But Star Wars droids, no, not at all. That's what the bigger ones are for. So it's an interesting point you bring up, Jacob, because yes, even though it's exactly the same as the minifigure blown up, it starts to look weirder the bigger it is. But it's interesting that helmets, I guess even in Star Wars, the helmets, because they were CG, couldn't really fit heads too well, which they've started running into issues with going back for clones and having to rework the helmets. But that is a good point. Is this, I'm trying to see how many Anzalons are in the sidecar here. Is this the Mando speeder we're going to get? We've got 1, 2, 3 Anzalons at least, and then Grogu. Oh, wrong button. And, oh, maybe this is its own speeder. I'm saying this is a sidecar. Maybe this is the Anzalon speeder. Maybe Grogu goes off on his own adventure, because the movie's called Mandalorian and Grogu. So perhaps this is the Grogu aspect, and that's why it's not just called the Mandalorian. Because whenever Mando parts with Grogu in the show, we follow Mando's side and don't see what Grogu does. This could be an interesting difference for the movie. But I think there's 1 Anzalon controlling it and then 2 Anzalons and Grogu in the sidecar. I don't think that's going to be the set we get, but it would be welcome. Not bad. And then we see Mando flying up. So what we haven't seen, and I can't show you, but I can describe the trailer that was present at Star Wars Celebration. And it was Mando, after blowing up the AT-AT, is on a speeder, which I think is the January set, and then flies up for that first art wallpaper that we got. It feels like years ago. It was ages ago. And Mando then starts flying up. And this clip in the trailer picks up right there, I believe, of Mando holding Grogu, flying up to a U-wing, which I've broken down. So I'm going to have to rebuild that set for next year. I'm going to love rebuilding that. And yeah, flying up to a U-wing, of all things. So maybe that's where the new main character fits in. Grogu's Excellent Adventure. Yeah, waiting for the spin-off show. It'd be a good animation, good like kids show that. Head's modelled after the movie, not the minifigure. Yeah, so the helmet's modelled after the actual helmet, and then the big fig is modelled after the minifigure as opposed to, I guess it makes sense for the minifigure scale. These aren't buildable. Maybe that's why Lego haven't tackled any Star Wars characters, because they base them off the minifigure, and fans would probably want more buildable Chewie, buildable 3PO, accurate to how they're seen in the movie. That's a good point. And then that's what is this? It's a bit dark, but it doesn't seem to be children. It seems to be fully grown. Oh, yes, cheering on. Allegedly Rotter. I think this was announced at a panel at Celebration as well. Rotter the Hutt in some fighting arena with Mando in the crowd, but I have a feeling Mando's gonna be in that arena. The strong rumor says the minifig for the speeder with Grogu will be the UCS Mando. You doubt it? I doubt it too, Danny. I think it's going to be the same Mando we get in the sets, because the big difference with the UCS one was the UCS one was in the old armor, but I think the rumor for it was they're going back to the darker helmets as opposed to the new ones. Like, Mando's just been in the magazine. Mando's still in the magazine for 2 days in the UK, but for most of us, Mando's just been in the Lego Star Wars magazine, which is a January minifigure. We've also got the debut of the Clone Shock Guard polybag. A few years back, we got the Coruscant Guard polybag. They've given them a new blaster, and it's a Clone Shock Trooper polybag ahead of the Clone Shock Trooper mech next year. So I think we're seeing a bit with these new magazines recently that we're actually getting minifigures that will be coming out again in January, and maybe they've just got a few spare that they're going to get rid of. Grogu's always eating. What is that? Is that like popcorn or Star Wars popcorn? I can't see what that is in Grogu's hand. It looks like Star Wars popcorn. I want some of that. These hammer drones. Oh wow, I've just got a frame with the explosion going off. Left one looks like Doom, like a motorized Doom, and it's levitating. Oh, Grogu's using the Force. It's trying to shoot Grogu. This must be where Grogu and the Anzellans end up. So Mando's... Is that Mando on the left? Grogu's just chilling on Mando's shoulder. Yeah, I think that is Mando. There's a shine. Yeah, Mando's on the left and Grogu's just chilling, lifting one up with the Force. Oh, these have got to be a Lego set. And if they are, can we get the designer of the V19 on them? Because I really like the hammer drones from Marvel. And then what is this? This is in the arena. So I guess this is trying to convince Rotter to work with Mando. Maybe Mando wants to pair up with the Hutts, and especially after Boba, with Boba pulling the Hutts off world. Maybe this is like a favor called in. Oh no. Oh, the explosion in the AT-AT. And that's where Mando flies up. So Mando drives up to the AT-AT on the speeder, and now we get the rest of the story flying out of the front. And it's not an AT-AT, it's like an AT-ACP. Something like that. Don't hold me to that. But it's the one from Rebels, I'm pretty sure, unless they're creating a new version, and then Mando flies up to the U-Wing. And I'm sure this is going to be the opening of the movie, because with the sequel trilogy, that's what they did with the trailers. They filled in a lot of the opening and didn't show off much late game. I think Rogue One had like the TIE fighter that was then removed from the entire movie right at the end. And then there was one clip right at the end of... It's like a rat bat of some sort. Whoa! I didn't notice that. I think that's the foundling gear that Grogu had initially. It's like the green paint and he uses it to blind the bat. Ha! Hopefully he'll get... I don't know if he'll want wrist rockets. Good shot, baby. Oh, Grogu and the Anzellans is going to be a great That's just going to be the best part of the movie, isn't it? Grogu and the Antilons. Oh, let's see what people are saying in the comments before we return to it. Somehow the Razor Crest returned. Zeb fighting in live action. Yeah. Indiana Jones style title at the end. Didn't even notice that. Those huge droids will definitely be fighting Cal in the next Jedi games. True. True. Yes. Putting Mando UCS with not full Beskar armor is... Yeah, it doesn't make much sense, does it? Alright. Back to Jaxxon. At hand. Mando trailer sneak peek right between. That's looking good though. There we go. Hello there. Lego's better than fake. Lego's definitely honed their craft. Yeah. I think the biggest problem I've come to notice, having been around the Lego space now for years, like actively in the community making videos sort of thing, is that there's not a lot of competitors that try. Well, do or do not, there is no try. But there's not a load of competitors that keep doing. A load of them do it, try to get a bit of money and realize, oh, actually you have to you have to, even if you're just buying and reselling sets, you have to put a bit of work into it, and then they fall off. I have seen so many companies, and there's companies that you haven't seen, companies that have contacted me asking for collab sponsors and the likes, and they're not around now. They don't exist because they didn't have that drive. And that's why it's nice to see companies that, hopefully a lot of the companies that we've seen will still be around. But yeah, fakes don't have the drive for it. I think a lot of the fake companies are looking for a quick buck, and it's not how not how Lego works. You can't just get money out of nothing. You have to actually put in for it. Where's Bugs? Because it kind of flattens off at the end. All right, I know what I'm going to do. And I know we've got the parts to pull it off. No excuses here. Just need to fill out everything else. Hello there, Atomic Bricks. Welcome back. Build a helicopter. Funny you mentioned that. I will be soon. Not today, but soon there'll be a helicopter on the channel. 1, 2, 3. I don't think Jaxxon looks too bad in grey. Not as good as green, but, you know, not too bad in grey. Oh, I've already won by 2 there. Nope. The corner. I think Lego would definitely have a bit more... I think they have a bit more respect from fans. I do think a few collectors have been disrespecting Lego with their choices recently because of, oh wait, it looks good from the back, but that's the back. We don't have the front. Oh, we might make it work. We might make that work. Whoops, I didn't realize that's the other way around. Because of choices like minifigures. That's something that in the Star Wars community is really high up in a lot of people's lists. And the V19, great figures. I think the Rebuild the Galaxy sets have had some great minifigures. The books always have great minifigures. But a lot of sets miss that mark. They might have a really good build, but if the minifigures aren't great, like great minifigures and a bad build is accepted. I've seen a fair few sets that have had great minifigures and, you know, the builds have been good, but not the aim of it. Especially cheap sets we're talking, not UCS sets, but cheap sets. And that's all right. It's the big builds that don't come with great minifigures that I think people don't like as much. Found the old 2015 Kylo Ren shuttle sealed in your basement. Should you build it? I think, did Kylo shuttle come with a Knight of Ren back in 2015? I don't think they were doing Knights of Ren back in 2015. There's probably some rare minifigure in there, but I say build it, crack it open, build it, and see if you can get all the minifigures inside. Because 2015, you probably could. Why aren't they making a Palp's Arrest diorama? They would sell really well. I don't know if a diorama would sell as well as a playset for Palps Arrest. Like, they wouldn't do the office and the side bit. It'd probably just be the office and the landing bay. You'd get 4 Jedi, Anakin and Palpatine, and you're probably looking about diorama money, you know, about 70, 80, 60, 70 quid. 60, 70 quid for it. And I still think that would sell well if they include 4 Jedi, Palps, Anakin. And that's the lot. Don't think there's anyone you could really sneak in there other than that. It would sell so well though. How's the mouth going to be built? Hollow it all out, actually. So maybe a 1x3. We don't want it to stick like that. We want it to come out. Don't want it like that, because we want the top one to stick out a bit more. But I don't know if you even want. Ooh. I'll be honest, that don't look half bad. For the head of it, how big can we make the mouth? That would be most of the mouth there. Do I have a black tooth? No. All right, I seem to have too many white. Let's get rid of some here. I think white. Actually, the teeth would shine through if we weren't covering that up. I think there's a few dioramas that probably could do well. I just don't know if Lego would be able to sell them, because I assume, especially looking at something like the UCS Death Star, a lot of the designer have come out, and I've seen a few interviews with it, of them defending the choice to stack up dioramas and saying that the UCS Death Star isn't for the dioramas. I think they're saying it's for the frame. It's for the design of the Death Star, and you're just getting a ton of dioramas with it, which, you know, a collector, yeah, you're not buying dioramas, you're buying the big battle ball, as they call it in Rebuild. But there's definitely some dioramas, like the Phantom Menace. The moment where Maul comes through those doors is so iconic, and I've built one of them. The instructions are selling well, so the Lego set probably wouldn't sell half bad. Include the Darth Maul. Sith Infiltrator did come with Darth Maul and Qui-Gon, so maybe give it a few years before doing something like that. But having a door that opened, Maul, Qui-Gon, Kenobi, could even include like an Anakin on the side if they wanted to, in place of the Sith Infiltrator, same price, would have sold so good. Building the Piranha Plant, nice. My partner's built that. It's a great set, especially with a little money box feature. You can't fit a lot of coins in it, but it's fun. It's fun to fit the coins in. Would be epic with a Gorilla set. Oh, we need some music sets. There's still countless. It's not just Taylor Swift houses. There's another musician that's got very popular on Lego Ideas. I can't remember who it is, but yeah, we need some music sets or a CMF. But I think some music sets. Ideas came through with BTS. That did well. And I think that's the only music related set that we've got. The BTS one. I don't think we've seen anything else. Which is, it feels like they're missing out. Especially with the Universal contract that just came out. They got one movie out of it, and that was it. I know that was probably... Oh, was that Lego paying Universal, or Universal paying Lego, or neither? Was it just a contract to say they'd do something? Because I know everyone thought it was just a contract to say something would be made, hoping for a CMF. But Gorilla's collab, they've just collabed with Fortnite. Or collabing. I think that's still ongoing. That would be cool for Lego. Wow, so it kind of sticks out as well. I think the mouth will probably end one brick up. And then we'll start on the whiskers. We'll probably use like Wolverine's claws. But now that the mouth is out, I guess the nose is the point where it starts coming back in. So we can get another 2 layers of pieces on it. One of which will be bricks for the slopes. And that will start to bring things in. That might work. That might actually work. I say surprised. I thought it wouldn't because of how we've got the sides, but it actually might work. And then we can use more 2x4s. Haha! Gonna need some 1x2s in there. And then cheese slopes. Yeah, that'll work. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Cloud City diorama where Han tries to shoot Darth Vader. Yeah, I think dioramas work better as master builders if we get a smaller diorama in a bigger scene. That works well. Death Star would have probably been a little cheaper. Still would have been the most expensive because what was the most expensive? Let's see if we can find the most expensive Lego set. Because the Titanic was £600. I think we've had Star Wars sets that approach $750. The like AT-AT, the Falcon. The Eiffel Tower's £550. All right, the 10 biggest Lego sets on Lego.com. We have the world map, but that's 1x1s. That I think was cheap. The Eiffel Tower was $630. The Titanic was $680. The the Colosseum. Then the Death Star. Wait. The Falcon's not bigger than the Death Star. How's the Falcon bigger? So that's 70 by 79. And saying that, I think this is 83 by 60. I guess the Falcon's longer. But the Eiffel Tower is also taller than the Death Star. How are they sizing this up? Anyway, the Falcon's not more expensive. The AT-AT weren't more expensive. The UCS Razor Crest, great ship, is not more expensive. The Rivendell isn't. City Markets, Ninjago City Markets isn't. Hogwarts isn't. Yeah, it could have been like $700 or 600 and something quid and still have been the most expensive set. And all they had to do was take the Death Star vertical and flop it down and have it horizontal with scenes that could go in and out, or maybe clip together and then or like split open. There's so many ways they could have done it. People have said about a shadow box of the Death Star so that they've got some sort of spherical or just some shape on the front. That would instantly up the price to like $1.5 grand. No thanks. I've seen a lot of complaints actually about the Death Star, and all of them have said about rounding it off or adding more parts. People aren't going to spend most people aren't going to spend $1,000 on a Death Star. I don't think people are going to spend $5 grand on a rounded Death Star. Adding pieces ain't going to make the price any better. Love the Lego Island game. Lego Islands. I remember that. Why do I remember that? Am I a Lego Masters? I am not affiliated with Lego, haven't been on Lego Masters, no. But I am a self-appointed master of Star Wars, Lego, and adopting Master AFOL after Rebirth the Galaxy Season 2. Lego Arcade and the Piranha Plant. The Lego Arcade looks nice. Am I going to buy the Death Star? No. I'm not going to buy the Death Star. I want to build a little bit from it. I haven't built the Vader Meditation Chamber diorama or the Palpatine Throne Room. I feel like Palpatine's Throne Room is roughly the same. And Vader's Meditation Chamber is quite a nice, small, compact build. A lot of people have been saying, similar to what I said with Palp's throne room that it feels like it doesn't belong on the first Death Star. I take back my words, I eat my words, because people have been saying the same with Vader's meditation chamber. And if you've read, I think the most it goes into it is Tarkin, because Tarkin does analyze Vader quite a bit. You'll know that most Imperial ships and platforms have meditation chambers for Vader. Tarkin's ship had one. There was one on Coruscant. The Death Star definitely had one. The second Death Star would have had one as well. And it was just a way for, you know, Vader to focus on his hatred. Same goes for the throne room. If the second Death Star has a throne room, the first Death Star also definitely had a throne room. They disbanded the Senate moments before the destruction of Alderaan. Palps wasn't going to stay on Coruscant much longer. He was going to move to the Death Star, mobile operations, and go touring the galaxy with Torment, basically. So, yeah, eat my words for that. Have the throne room, and they almost just copy-pasted it on the Death Star. So I want to build that section of the Death Star and then see how far we get with it. But I don't think I'm going to build the Death Star anytime soon. The amount of grey parts needed for that build is going to be crazy. It's how many thousands of pieces as well? Nearly 10,000 pieces. Which is crazy. Thank you, Giovanni. So I might build it, but I'm definitely not buying it anytime soon. Definitely not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hey, that's a 4x6 again. And then we'll round off the slopes on the front. Let's get some like grey brackets. Just these ones shouldn't be seen, I don't think. Will they? Will they be seen? 4 studs. I suppose it depends how we build that out. Probably going to use more 2x6s. But we could then wedge this down ourselves. All the options. The options. The options. We'll have to do the same on the back. Let's get that 4x6 in grey. Definitely got to own one of them, right? Not after this. Not after this string. And then 2x2. Don't even need a 2x2 to fill that. Why do I feel like that's... Oh no, it hasn't sunk in. Keep feeling like the head's gonna pop off the body, so we'll keep the body to the side. We'll keep the body to this side. Not in the way there. There we go. Strong base for the head. Or instead of grey, we use grey on the back where it's hidden. And on the back I've been rounding it off with slopes. I'm going to keep doing that, but switch up the angle and spin some vertically, as opposed to keep going out to the side. So we'll do like 1x2s on the side. Oh yeah, we're going to need some bigger bracket. 1x2s on the side, 1x3s, 1 in, and 1x4s in the middle. That should fill up more of the space. And then we're going to need 1x6 and a 1x2 on top. We can hide these in a non-grey colour. Got more black parts than I do grey. Tempted to buy the Arkham Asylum. Oh, that's a good set, especially for DC. I feel like that set needs to be celebrated a bit more, because DC, I don't think I ever posted that poll when we spoke about sets last month. I don't think I ever posted that poll about the better Lego sets. So I'm gonna have to get onto that afterwards, and then yeah, have a little look at that. 4th biggest fan according to YouTube. Nice. Oh, did I see the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer? We just, I think, who was it that pointed out Moonshoes, right? Let's look. Yes, Moonshoes just pointed out on the mainstream. The Mando trailer dropped and we reacted to it live. So don't worry about going back. I might clip that up and release that as a video later today. My reaction to the trailer. Of course, it looks good, as you'd expect with Mando. we've started rewatching the shows ahead of next year because there's so much coming out, not just Disney Plus, Netflix, but all the time. We started rewatching season 1 of Mandalorian, still just as good as the first time, ahead of the movie next year. So by next year, we're hoping to have got through all 3 shows and maybe watch Boba on top because Mando has a good episode in that. I don't know about like Ahsoka, Skeleton Crew. If we have time, we'll go through them. But I'm realizing that Mando doesn't have a story in either of them, so I'm not sure how they'll tie up. It's nice to know where we are in the galaxy, but they don't tie up as back to back. Fallout 2 trailer, I haven't seen that. I don't watch too many trailers actually, which is surprising given how much I watch shows and movies. But I tend to wait for them to come out because, like I said, the trailers usually give away a few, not big things. I think Star Wars hide it well. There's always a big reveal in Star Wars, but a lot of other ones do give away a bit too much sometimes of what's going to happen. Oh, we're gonna need light grey for that, and actually we might need some light grey brackets because this is going to peek out just over the side. Good thing I got a ton of those giant ones. Don't know where I got them from. Any light grey? No idea where I got them from, but got them, and that's what counts. And 2, oh yeah, and a few slopes as well. So slopes will have to be 2x2s. Does it round off any more? Maybe we can get rid of that slope. Or we can, oh yes, we can heighten it. Oh, that would be handy. And then a 2x2 would work. Stick it out a little bit before it flattens off. We'll need more 2x6s for that. I think the trailer also for Mando and Grogu, like we said about the AT-AT and up to the U-Wing. The U-Wing was new, but the U-Wing aside, we didn't see anything else that we didn't already know that's going to play a big part. Like there's a few reveals in there, but I don't think anything too big. They just kept teasing a lot. They didn't reveal much. Yeah, they just kept teasing more and more. I guess this is the way, making us wait till May. And then 1x1s in black. Don't know if I own them. In a big tub. Should own them. Oh, I'd say should own them like I've had loads of these in Lego. I don't know. I don't remember getting 1x1 black tiles in any set, do I? I know there's a lot of random colours in Star Wars sets now, but I wouldn't say I remember them by any means. Oh, and we could have used a 2x4 again. Yeah. We'll go with a 2x4. Keep everything as grey as we can till we recolour. Hello there, Coruscant Bricks. My favourite Star Wars set. I'm going to have to say the UCS Slave one. It's a really awesome set. And it's the sort of set that, you know, it's not a cheap set. It's a very expensive set. It's one of those ones that you just save and save for. But look at it on display. Out of the way, Jackson. Look at it on display. It's an awesome set. It has some play features. The details in it are cool. Going forth, definitely always in my favourite set list. Look at the mouth. Oh, that's spot on. Look at that. That's cool. Not bad, not bad. And then we need the nose. For the nose, how rounded off is the face? The nose does kind of come back. The face around the nose kind of comes back a little bit. And then we also have the little whiskers. Well, they're not so little whiskers. They're just on the edge of the mouth. All right, the nose will be better as just a plate sticking out. Oh. So do we tile this off, slope it off? What do we do with the mouth? I think I'm going to switch these for 1x2s and then get other slopes. Oh no, we can tile it off. We can tile it off on top and then work a little nose in. That's the best way of doing it. If we've got enough tiles for it. I got so many projects on the go right now. I don't know how I'm coming up with enough pieces in white, grey, red was a struggle, but we got there in the end, like that. And then the nose will sit on top. I think that's a nice distance. And for the nose, 1, 2, 3.5. So I'm gonna go with a 2x3 tile, and then we'll be able to adjust. Oh, I do want to get a few more slopes on the side, but we can't do it to both sides. Maybe we cheese slope. It's the 2000 UCS Death Star. Is that the dish one? The round off one, that one's cool. But the playset, actually both of them are cool. I wonder if someone's put the playset inside the UCS set and try to merge the two of them. And then for the side, the eyes come up quite sharp, but there's still slopage. So, well, I have 4x2 white tiles that are rounded off at the corner, but the problem is they're not going to fit, are they? What if we tile off the base? What if we tile off the head and build everything on its side? That way we can get it right to the edge. And also get a few... Yeah, then we can tile off the sides. But otherwise, I was thinking of using these slopes. They bring it in a bit too sharp. Yeah, I think they bring it in a bit too sharp. They look good. Actually, they look good a bit wider. I still think they're not great, but they do look quite good a bit wider. Would they work? Maybe we need a slighter angle. Could use hinges because we've got the gap at the back. We want a little slope. I wonder if the slope's so subtle. UCS Count Dooku Solar Sailor. All with a Count Dooku minifigure. UCS Count Dooku minifigure. He has to have a cape as well. And Count Dooku's UCS minifigure with a saber. And also the pilot droid. That would be a nice UCS set. They couldn't just give us Dooku. It'd have to include the pilot droid as well. That would be nice. I wonder if we can do what I'm thinking with jumpers instead. Because we've got the black tile going down the middle. And if we use jumpers either side, yeah, let's get some grey plates to fill out the base. What do we need? 1 1x2 and 2 2x2s. Fill it out. Running low on grey plates now. And then a 2x3. 2x4 works. We'll bury it one deeper. 2x6. Do we have the space for... Oh, a 2x6 goes the entire length. Well, We don't have much choice there. 2x6 works. That's a massive nose. It goes all the way through the head. And then, oh, slopes. Yes, we'd need slopes as well. So the eyes are above the nose. This is where the whiskers would be. Want something at an angle. All right, I've got an idea. With clips and bars, we can make this work. We'll make our own little clip. Well, actually, we might have bricks that do this for us. I never use the 1x1 or the 1x2 clip bricks, and I guess it comes down to the fact that you can build those based on the need. If you have the bricks, you might as well use them. Otherwise, you end up like me with a tub of them in here and not using them for anything. So the horizontal clips will hold on the whiskers like that. I think that's too far forward, but we can pull it back and get the whiskers on at a slope. Yeah, there we go. We need those 2x2s. Found your old Bionicles. None of them complete. Oh, that's both good and bad. Good, you get to collect a load of Lego pieces and build them over time. Bad because, you know, there might be the odd rare piece or the odd element that's not as easily gotten. But that does sound like fun though. Piecing together old sets. Ooh. This isn't working as easily as I'd hoped. Alternatively, I don't want to whack any more brackets in there because working with only one plate of brackets is going to be very hard to do. But if we are trying to cover up the rest of that nose as well, we could just go with slopes. How prominent are Jaxxon's whiskers? We'll see if we can add those in with clips later on. In the meantime, I think I'm going to cover it with slopes. We want to be careful what slopes we use. Maybe 1x3s? Because the 1x3s, yeah, go straight up level with the nose. But only one 1x3. Nope, that's another 2. Or like a 1x3 slope. We'll slope everything off today. Building a great wall. We'll return some of those. And, oh yeah. How much does this come in? I think this looks really good for the character. 1x2s? 1x2s on the side? How would 1x2s look? Yeah, that's good. Just need to secure this all in place. 2x4 should do the trick. And then we'll just secure, don't need you. Might need you, might very much. Won't need you. How do I make my custom figs? I am working on a few videos. I've done for the decals. I've done a video for channel members. I've done a few little tips and trick videos, shorts and full videos here and there. But someone asked ages ago about custom figures, custom sig figs. So I do want to do a video making figures. I don't know whether it'll be a short. Depends how much detail I go into it really when I'm editing it up. But I would like to do a video explaining that, because some figures are more straightforward than others. Some figures can be real like brain twisters. If that's not a term I'm coining it, it is now. You have to think long and hard about it, and even then it ends up being a bit difficult. I quite like them building up vertically. So something like this is not too much different to a custom minifigure, except for the big fact that I can just alter this. Like if one of the arms was different, I'd be able to alter that a lot easier than using minifigure parts. For Jaxxon, for this custom minifigure, I've taken a look at the torso. That was the main thing. Is there a torso in my collection, first off, that looks like the character? And I was lucky enough to have Falcon, which I don't use. I've taken the Falcon apart, and that gave me the boots that only came with Falcon. Those red legs with white boots are so hard to get my hands on, because I was going to make a ton of these minifigures and try to give some away. No chance. Those legs are not only, you know, they're reasonably priced for how exclusive they are, but they're also really hard to find someone that has more than one of them that they're willing to sell. So I won't be doing that anymore, but I'm keeping my eye out. If I find anyone that has a ton of those legs, I'm coming for them. And then once I found the torso, thankfully the legs came with it, switched out the hands. Arm printing isn't too big a thing with customs. I don't mind arm printing. Arm printing feels like it complicates the minifigure a bit more than I would personally like. Some people do add arm printing into custom minifigures. And then the head, for someone like Jaxxon's the hardest part, because the closest is a Bugs Bunny. So maybe we can make a purist Bugs Bunny Jaxxon. I'll see how much I like this head and how much the pieces are if I do want to recolor it. They're all slopes, they all should be available in some sort of sand green, and I'd also like to go back and build Grogu's head at some point. So that could be fun. If I do grab the sand green parts, we could finally complete our Grogu upscaled big fig. Upscaled minifig, upscaled big fig? An upscaled big fig would be massive. Absolutely. What am I looking for? A 2x4. That's the one. And onto the eyes. Will be built up with jumpers. So where were we with the jumpers? We don't need the gap for the nose. Alternatively to jumpers, we could go straight in with the 2x2s. We used them to hold the core of the leg together. If you've built an upscaled minifigure, you'll know exactly what I mean. Oh yeah, we only had one of them in white. That was the whole thing with a hip. We only have grey. Oh. Oh. How many brackets do we have in black, white? One by one. Oh, white will do. That'll do nicely. Especially if we've got some partner brackets. Because for both of these eyes, we're going to want to build them complete opposites. So whatever we do to one, like that bracket, we're going to want the opposite bracket for the other one. And I'm not sure we even want brackets this low for the eyes, because it would be nice to have a bit of white outlining them. Or better yet, hiding these in the middle. Then that throws a spanner in the works. So let's grab another grey tile. We only seem to have 1x2s. Oh, come on. We only seem to have 1x2s left, so it's not a problem as to what's going there. It can only be a 1x2. And the two eyes would come up the side there. I think that's a good point for the eyes. And we could even slope it in gradually and build the eyes. Kind of want to round the eyes off. So we'd have, that might be too low for the pupils. Let's get some round 2x2 black plates, black tiles, sorry. I've got a ton of new ones But I always try to find ones with a cross in them because they're harder to use in modern sets. None available though. So the eyes will be something like that. How tall is the head working on? Oh wow, it's not as tall as I thought it would be, but it's getting there. Definitely getting there. And the good thing with these pupils is I can rotate them as well as to specifically where I want them to be, which helps when I'm winging the eyes. I can rotate. Oh wait, we need slopes. What don't we need? Clips. Cheese slopes I don't think we'll need unless we use them on the top. Oh. And these clips I don't think we'll need. Welcome back. No problem, Atomic. May the bricks be with you. Just had a substitution. Kind of looks like a crab at the minute with the eye sticking up. Quite a comical crab. Aha, so if we've got some white plates, where? Oh, white plates I had to move because after breaking down some sets, and I've still got a few white pieces to go in here as well, I had too many for 2 drawers of this, moved them to a blue tub to get them in one of the big drawers, and I've still got too many white plates. So I'm going to have to find maybe a bag to store these white plates in. It's nice having too many. After having not enough for weeks and weeks, having too many is a nice feeling. But I don't think I'll be placing a big order of white plates anytime soon. And the thing is, if I build like an upscaled minifigure that's pure white like Rex, I'd probably steal Rex's parts. But if I didn't steal Rex's parts, I wouldn't have enough pieces to build the minifigure. So at least I know I've got a load of plates now, especially for ships. I suppose we could have flipped the eye out backwards and that would have worked as well. And that would be easier to slope. Yeah, it would. Hello there. Yeah, let's do that with the eye instead. Rather than overcomplicating it. Suppose we could. No. Let's stick on the current course and see how these turn out before we switch it up. That's one thing. I get distracted so easily and get focused on, oh, we could do this, and then I'll get distracted and, oh, we could do this, or we could do this. And before you know it, I haven't actually built anything. I just need to stay focused on what it is being built as opposed to the different ways, because if I build this and decide tomorrow I wake up and think, oh, would have done that a bit differently today, I can always rebuild it. Sometimes the hardest thing is getting something built in the first place. There we go, a bit more so. No, that's not it. It's not bad, but I think it's too soon. I think it's too soon. Where we've come in from the slopes previously. Oh, just got rid of the eye. How's that? No, I definitely think any wider would look weird. It doesn't scale up any wider at the base. So if we keep this solid for a few, maybe like 2 studs. 2 studs and then we curve it in. That's going to look a bit better. It also gives us the wider eye at the bottom, which I haven't decided if I like yet, but I think it looks all right. So 2x2s now. Do we have any? In light grey. 2x4. We could keep going back, but I think on the back I'm going to grab those big slopes and use those, just so it emphasizes the front of the head when you're looking at it square on. Come on. Any square on slopes? One at the bottom. Or no. Look at that. There we go. There's one. And then how's this look? Or should that 2x4 be white? We can roll the eyes in a little more as well. I don't think the eyes should cross the nose. I think this might actually be too tall for the head, because we've got to have ears sticking out somewhere. Now we've rolled the eyes in, we'll go back to the slope. Okay. Okay, the black line is distracting, but that's not terrible. Black line definitely needs to go. But let's keep on with it. So that we can get, should we? No, let's not block it out. So that we can get a slope coming out, which will then, or a clip, which will act as our ears. I might go with a shorter slope on the side. That gives us a little hole for the clip. And then let's grab maybe like a white. Oh, a white what? A white 2x4? Will that be enough for the eye, or will we want to carry it across to the middle? I'm wondering if the slopes will be better one out. There we are. Right eye. Oh no, we can get some white at the top. Lovely. That's what we needed. And then the ears do stick out a bit to the side. Maybe not as much as I have prepared for here. Ooh. Ooh, which clip though? Which clip do we go? What we need is one of these that has an extra step in it. So it has the 2 steps. And I realise that's essentially what this is, but we need that with space. Oh, space for a clip. Yeah, space for a clip at the top. That's the hard part, removing slopes. Lego need to make slopes able to just pop off. What I might do is switch out this bottom one for a grey 1x2. A grey 1x2, just because we don't have an eye that wide, a grey 1x2 will fit in a lot better. There's one. Oh, that's 2. And that's one for the other eye. Make sure we got the pieces hanging around. Hello there, Isaiah. Yes, built-in Jaxxon. Spot on. Spot on. Let's get a clip as well. For Jaxxon's ears, now that we've got an eye. Maybe dark grey, maybe tan, maybe... What colour the whistle? I think dark grey is going to be better. Have I used this recently that I can steal from anywhere? Dark grey is definitely better than black. Won't stick out as much. But I think white... Honestly, I'm not sure what I think with white. If it would have been better if that would still be too much. Yeah, there we go. That's a better eye. And if in doubt, we can always put more in the middle. How much space? 3. So we could... What we could do is put another 3 plates. No, 5 plates. 5 plates in the middle. Thank you, 501st man. Yes, Rex is almost turning a year old. New year, Rex turns a year old. I think I built Rex over Christmas, but the video come out early to mid-January. Hello there, Studio Blue. Thank you very much. So let's replace the eye before we work with clips, or before we, yeah, definitely need a little one more white in the middle, and we could use a brick to fill up that gap. 1x4 in grey. Don't let me down. four, 1, 2, 3, 4. I might have more in my other drawer, but I only saw 4 in that drawer. Oh, that's the plate for the other eye. Grab 2 more of those. I'm finding as well, for any Lego parts collectors out there, I'm finding that having parts not stuck together makes mock building a lot faster. So keep that in mind when putting parts away. It seems like it's a better idea to stick them together, because then you can pull out the stack and have as many. But it just turns out that's not how I work. For some people that will be beneficial, not for me. It takes me so long breaking it. I've still got so many of these parts that are stacked up, and I'll grab like one of them and then I've just put the rest of the stack away. It's not how my brain works. I think it's because I don't want to limit myself to that specific element and having to use or feel like I have to use that element. So I like to mix it up a little. So the ears, I want to build basically on their side. What's Jaxxon's is just straight up green, so I guess we're looking for grey clips. What about Bugs? Does Bugs have like white in his ears? No, Bugs' ears are pink in the middle. I don't, or like maybe a tan. They are kind of pink. Do I have pink bars? No. We'll work with tan. There's plenty of plates in tan. After breaking down Mos Eisley, can't get rid of the plates in tan. Not that you'd wanna. And then the eyes slightly coming over into the middle. There we are. This is turning into Bugs Bunny. We started off building Jaxxon, and we're going to finish with a Bugs Bunny. Which are purist Jaxxon. Jaxxon coming soon. There we go. And that fills in the middle. Eyebrows, that's what we're missing. We're missing eyebrows. Ooh, do I have more of that mouth piece? Yes, I do. So that's one. And then I don't think I own another one. So what we can do is replace the mouth. 2 separate ones. So we've got some eyebrows, and we'll do the exact same. I think I'll do the exact same as I did with the eyes. Get a bracket to secure them on. Yeah, so let's pop these off. And then at the front top in it. So the fun part is looking through this tub for either 1x1 plates or corner plates, preferably 2 of each, 2 of either, not 2 of each. There we are. Corner plates it is. So don't need you. Don't think I need you in white. Not the pupil. Need some down brackets. These are all my single down brackets, the ones that overhook. Pretty sure all of them have been got from the Builder Mini. No, the pick and build, not the minifigure one, the brick one. I can't name a set that I've bought that needs them. I mean, like the V19 recently used them, the TIE Fighter, but both of those we parted out. But can't think of an actual set that I've picked up that has used them, especially in as abundance as they've been used. Yeah. And then the eyebrow was just on top. Look at that. There we go. Wait, that's still using the black bracket on the bottom. We haven't even changed that. But it looked good, didn't it? Without the black bracket. The grey bracket. That's the one. And then you go on there, and then you go on there. There. That looks good. We got there in the end. Same on the other side. The brick that I've used in the middle, rather than like 3 plates, is to fill up the nose and also not have any lines or any sort of distraction between the eyes, because the eyes take up so many parts. I don't know about the eyebrows. We could even try to stick them out a little bit. I think sticking them out might look more like a face. There we go. Just the amount of facial feature, the facial expressions will be able to show on this. That's pretty cool. And then it's missing the ears and a big slope on the back, and then some sort of head. I want to kind of hide something inside the head. I don't know what we could hide for Jaxxon. We could add a little like pink brick to represent a brain, brick head style. But I don't really know what else could be hidden. Not in a giant figure. We're not fitting Jaxxon in the head of this, which is why we added that hollowed out torso that would, oh, that's a 1x4 hollowed out torso that would provide enough space to get the figure, maybe another. There we are. And then I think for the top we do need to build something that goes between the ears that holds them out. But what? Not you, Slope. The ears I want to build on the side, so we're looking at a load of plates. The tan's quite thick, isn't it? The pinky tannish colour. It sort of thickens then thins, which is the same with our Jaxxon. So maybe it starts off with only a few plates. Maybe even just slopes out like that. And then we'll get a long plate. We'll get a 1x8 to secure it. I think these ears are going to be pretty sizable. And that will be clipped on the underside of like 2x6s running out the middle. Yeah. We need you pointy ears, so we'll get some slopes. And tan. That's the last one we need. Oh, 2x6s. Or do we want to break it off before then? I think maybe even a 1x8 in tan. That could work. And then, where'd I put the underside slopes? I think I hit them. Yep. Hit them already. Do I have a 1x8? One for the other side. Gotta make sure we do everything twice. As opposed to, it's a bit like Lego instructions, I guess. I do say a lot about Lego instructions making us do something and then right at the end telling us twice, or making us go through two things that are essentially the same but a mirror image. And I should get onto that myself and take some of my own advice. Get going as we're doing it. Get going as we're doing it. As opposed to coming back and trying to fill this in later, which is not going to be that easy. Don't know about the spiky part of the ears. Suppose we've got enough space for a 1x4. Oh no, oh yes. I was saying no 1x4s in sight. That couldn't have been true. Maybe even a 1x2. Maybe we'll spike it outwards. because we can still get it rounded off with slopes then. And grey slopes, don't need to worry about running out, ever. Oh, oh. Let's stack it out one more. I'm thinking maybe I should have added more grey to it. Tan's a bit too overpowering in the middle there. That means I need to bring back out the grey part. 1s and 2s. Plenty of 1s. Decent amount of 2s. Decent. We've got 2 of them. Enough 2s. The bare necessity of 2s. And that just gives us a little poke out in the middle of the ear. That then settles back in. I'm thinking also, we have the poke out both sides. It doesn't, or does it go in? Because that's where we could stop our... Yeah. Alright, that's where we'll stop one side of the ear to make it seem like it's also folding a bit. And then we could slope it off differently at the top. That switches it up. We need a big slope. Come on, I know I've used a million of them today, but we've got more. And then, oh, more 1x. Oh, I didn't put away the 1x1s because I didn't build the other ear. Welcome back, Alfie. Making progress indeed. We're working on the ears before we fill in the middle so that we know how much space we've got to work with. And the ears are coming across quite nicely in the sense of how, you know, folded they are. We got, oh, don't need you. So here's one ear almost done. Actually, I think that would work as the finished ear. We want the middle side as flat as can be. Are these clips going to hold? All right, this clip needs replacing. Just pop off the eye to do so. That's brutal. The only thing with these clips, they're so fragile that once you use it enough, it's not as good for the mocks. Does this hold up? Which side? That side in? Yes, solid clip. We'll place the whole thing down as one. There we go. I think the ears could be a little bigger, but I wonder if it would work a little. Oh, why don't we flip the ears? Ah, that's more like it. Because we can still have them vertical where the inside is a bit thinner. Let's get work on the inside of the head, because filling this up is going to help a lot with the size of it. And this kind of just protrudes up. There is a bit in the middle that sticks out. We could use a bracket to get that bit in the middle that sticks out. Yeah, we could use a bracket. All right, let's do that. And then maybe a bracket and some door wedges. How long did the body take? So the legs, torso and arms, the legs, torso and arms took about 3 hours to build. And then off stream, I added some detailing to the front, just snot bricks in the middle. But the reason the body took so long is we built it with the bare minimum of parts required to make the arms move and the whole thing structurally integral, so that it wouldn't collapse down, so that we could open the back and fit our Purist Custom Jaxxon minifigure head first on the inside. So it's like a giant minifigure carry case. And yeah, that definitely took a lot of the time. Right. There we go. And then the head has taken, I mean, I'd say it's taken 2 hours. We did get distracted and watch the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer. So that probably took a solid hour out of it. The head hasn't taken that much. Which should you do? Buy a new bed, because your one's broke, or build a bed with some Lego? Honestly, building a bed, that's a great idea. I know James May did it when he built a Lego house, but that was just a plate. That was a plate. I think take the mattress and the bedding off your old one, put that on Lego, and I wonder how strong the Lego would be, because of a winter, that bed would be so warm. ABS is a good insulator, a bad conductor of heat. So the ABS bricks are going to be great heat keepers, because the bricks themselves will have air pockets individually, and the stud connection means you don't get a lot of airflow. Actually, this is a good conductor, like a solid base of a bed. I suppose of a summer you'd want to switch it up, but bad for a summer, great for winter, and great for cold. So that might be a good idea. If you decide to build one out of Lego, make sure to post images on the community. Yeah, that's actually a good idea, to build a like ABS hollow bed for the winter, but then, you know, trying to find something for the summer, that would be your fault. You make it sound like a bad thing. Mando trailer was really cool. If only I was pulling all-nighters every day and we could do immediate reactions to new Lego sets and trailers all the time. But most of the stuff comes out while I'm either away, like away and can't record away, or asleep. I sleep through so much. That's just because of timing. There's the back of the head as well. Don't think the slopes turned out. Oh, don't think the slopes turned out too bad. Got to slope out that side. Ah, good thing we caught that. This would be sick for a Jaxxon head. Bracket for the top, didn't we say? So bracket, yeah, bracket, and then we can slope off the back, and the bracket will be the top. 2x2. Hurrah, hurrah! Come on, one more. Once more for the Jaxxon Big Fig. Yes. And a grey bracket. That's all we need. One grey bracket. Possibly. The bracket would stick out. Instead of door hinges, we could cover the bottoms of the ears, but I don't think the bottoms of the ears look bad. I don't think they look bad at all. So let's see if we've got a grey bracket. Right on top. Quicker option is better. Yeah. So a sofa bed sounds like a great idea. Depends on a lot, but sofa bed sounds like a great idea. Or do we need door hinges at all? Another 1x2. I need a tub of 1x2s at this point. That one's a bit. Oh wait, these are all old grey. I need a new grey 1x2. Should have specified. And that will be the top bit done. And that's the top of the Jaxxon head. I feel like we could have filled it out a little bit in the middle here. It's missing. What if we added another 2x2 slope? I know I've just looked for 2x2s and could only find one. But what if I worked my Lego magic and found like 5 more? 2 more is all we need. And what are you? Oh, you're the cheese slopes. Need to hold on to you. Can't be putting you back. Oh. Let's clear up some of this. as we're coming to the end. Looks great, plus you could always revisit. Exactly. That's what I need to do more for mocks, especially behind the scenes ones that I've worked on. I just need to start up a stream, get a stream going, because so many of the mocks that I haven't built, that I haven't finished, have been down to remodeling and remodeling before I get anything finished. And that is my biggest weakness in building Lego. The fact that I'm remodeling before I've even finished one version of it. I need to get finished more before I've just realized the 1x8s are on the right hand side before I start doing anything else. Got rid of you, none of you are needed. Gotta remember where I got all these from now. They might be nice storages, but they do make some not nice noises. There we go. Oh, and that's the final draw, because I'll keep the black ones out. Anyone that missed it earlier on in the stream, check out this brick of 1x8 black plates. This is all plates the whole way along it, not one brick. 2x8s, and I wonder how many other plates I've got in that abundance. Definitely feeling like 1x2s are an easy one to get. 1x2s I probably have even bigger than that. If I got all my 1x2s, I'd have to have multiple piles. Couldn't fit them all. So a Spider-Man train for 39. Ain't that like a third? Isn't that like a third off? Or is it 55? Something like that. That's a great price. I guess we now know what Jaxxon looks like. So we can get rid of the image because we have Jaxxon on our screens. Well, Bugs Bunny Jaxxon is a purist Jaxxon. Not quite. I have a bit of 3D printer filament in the mold. I think I got it. Any more slopes? No. Oh, is this light grey or dark? It was neither. It's dark tan. I can't blame that one on the mat. Let's see if there's any at the bottom. All dark grey down there. All right. Not hopeless yet. I can't even remember what we're using these slopes for. I've been looking for so long. We can use that. I think it was for the side. So down here. There's the longest bit of filament, which gets absolutely everywhere. Yes, it was for the side there. Whether that building out the cheek looks better, or the alternate to building out the cheek would be building out the side, sort of the connection point between the head and the cheek. I don't know if I feel like it's getting somewhere, but maybe if that was recessed, if we were able to recess that or hide that away somewhere, I think I'd prefer it. I like this because it builds out the cheek. Maybe we need to build out the cheek and then go up. What if I had a bigger one on the side here? And then that goes into the slope. No, yeah, I don't like the height on it. I think the eyes are the perfect width. So something building out to the eyes. I don't know, let me know what you think. But I'm leaning towards... Oh, let me get the other one up. There we go. I definitely think the fact it comes into the eyes is a little weird. Maybe I can show it before and after. Do we need slopes at all? This is a purist Jaxxon with an N, because it looks like Bug Bunny's head on the Jaxxon. But this is a giant fig to represent Jaxxon from Rebuild the Galaxy. And I do want to recolor it. The more I look at Bugs, actually the more I like it. So it's kind of quite growing on me, but I will definitely have some sort of visual with the right color when I do the video on it. Hello, Bugs Bunny Jaxxon. Maybe that's what we need. I think that was one of the biggest problems that people had with Jaxxon in the 70s. It was basically Bugs Bunny role-playing as Han Solo. And I'm not sure that sort of like spoof. This was well before Robot Chicken and that. Do I have a slope half that size? Oh, I could. We do have a 2-plate tool slope. Let's see. We could whack something like this in there. I'm not sure if we get the other slope on top. So we could hide it. There's a few different slope options. Let's see what we got. We got the rounded off slopes as well. Only we could plug them vertically. So we do have, oh no, this I don't think would be any different. You do have, there's grey ones somewhere. This slope missing a little chunk. And if we only put one plate on it, grab a plate first. What we can do is we can reset the slope. Let's grab that one. There we go. Something like that. Something like that. I don't know how I feel about that extra slope. Maybe it was all right at the first place. Maybe that was good. That's about half the size. And then that still gives room before the eyes start to pop out. Because the eyes really start at this grey line here. It does look kind of rocket-like. Try that one again. Ended up getting the Lego lot of 4 sets, missing 1 figure. With a bunch of extras. Oh, so 1 fig down. You got a few bonuses in there. It's not bad. I think also from the back, let me spin this, because this slope only sticks out in the middle. I think that gives quite a curved approach. Maybe. Yeah, it gives quite a curved approach to the whole model. I'm wondering if we could get like a cheese slope in there. I think I'm going to stick with these slopes for now, and then like we said, we can workshop it at later points. It just gives a bit more dimension. If I bring up Jaxxon, just brings a bit more dimension to that top. Or do we need a longer slope? Like a 2x3. All right, one last look at a different element. It looks a little long without the slope. Yes, I agree. What if we added more width higher up? I've got these longer slopes here. Maybe what we're looking for is a bit more width as opposed to height. Like that. Even replacing this one underneath. Oh, okay. I am thinking now. Like that. There we go. I'm happy with this. Yeah. A few smaller slopes at the bottom, and then we get the bigger slope. Because that creates a sharper angle, and that still goes into the eyes. So it's still pretty accurate, but it does lessen the height at the top, especially with the ears. I think without the ears, it doesn't look too bad because the eyes aren't as big. But then with the ears, yeah, it gives the right height off. And we might have just nailed it. Thank you. Perfect. So, all we've got left to do is put Jaxxon's head on Jaxxon's torso and see how it looks compared to... Oh, I forgot one of my other upscaled models right up here on the shelf. That one has been 3D printed, because Lego already come out with a set that looks really good. Haven't seen the trailer. Do I think Mando trailer's good? I'm excited for it. And yeah, I do think it's good. I think it does have a lot of character, especially with how many expressions we can give. You know, we could have an angry figure. Oh, that's creepy. Don't like that one. There we go. Loads of expressions can be done. All right, let's get the droid. Yes, Mando looks really good, especially paired with the leaks from the Celebration trailer. We have, I think, what's the opening scene with the snowy planet. Say no more. Say no more. I'm not going to spoil it. Snowy planet, I think, is the opening scene. Oh, this is what fell earlier. Good thing it didn't fall when we were slinking on it. There we go. Come on in. With the blaster, which Rex is still missing. The scale's up quite nicely with them, roughly 1:6 scale. And now, for the moment of truth, we've gathered here today to assemble Jaxxon. We've just to show you what we've done previously, built the legs and the arms. And now, the head just pops on, right? There we go. I feel like the head could have been blown up just a little bit more, but pretty much scales with how Lego did Bugs Bunny. That's quite amusing. Okay, that's pretty cool. And I think there's room in the head to slide a minifigure if we were to be really sneaky about the back connection. Even with Jaxxon or Bugs' long ears, there's just enough room to slide in the back. I only watched 3 episodes of Mando. I'm on episode 3 of the rewatch ahead of May's movie. But yeah, if you can make it through Mando, great show. If you can make it through. If you make it through Mando and you enjoy it, I think you're going to like the movie, especially with some of the cute creatures that will be popping up. I'm sure we'll be getting loads of them in the Lego sets. So this is, what, our 4th upscaled character? Is it? We didn't do Boba Fett in the end. I would love to go back and do Mando. Did I add a signature green brick? Oh, there must be a green brick. Let's have a look. Oh, I've realized with the head, it's quite hard to get into the back of Jaxxon, so I might add another one of those. Another one. I'm saying that. No, it's fairly straightforward. If I can grab it at the corner, he has to be looking forward. I can grab it at the corner. So let's grab a green brick. Signature Master Mouldie green brick. There we go. And that's going to be hidden in the back. As we can't fit a full Jaxxon fig, we'll fit the green brick and then Jaxxon can lay on top. Jaxxon's got a green brick bed now. And the minifigure shall stay in there. Maybe I'll do a few purist customs of other Rebuild the Galaxy characters then, because Jaxxon's not turned out half bad and is really making me want to do a Jar Jar Binks big fig. That would be awesome. But yes, check out I'll clip up the stream for the Mando trailer. So, and I'll include images actually. Yes, I'll clip that up, include some images so that you can follow along with that if you haven't watched the trailer or if you want to know what we thought about it. And stay tuned, there'll be a video of this Jaxxon coming out. That the torso and legs especially looks so cool. And I would love to get Jaxxon as a minifigure still. I think maybe coming towards May would be a great promo to start minifigures back up again. And even after May, I'm sure we're going to have a new book some point soon. We got the Character Encyclopedia in April. We've got a load of Lego books since. But I feel like we're getting a Lego Star Wars book every 12 to 24 months. A Jar Jar big fig. A Jar Jar with the Maul legs. Yes, that's a great fig. Especially in this scale. We could build the Maul legs this scale. Maybe that'll be the next one. I'm torn between that and Mando, especially after Boba's helmet. I do want to break down. So I wonder how many parts away I am from getting Mando's helmet. I'll have to build Mando's helmet and then build a big fig to go with Mando's helmet. And that will go with our Grogu for the new year, especially if we want to build that new speeder in an upscaled format. That would be nice. Hello there. But that is all for today's stream. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to check out the Mando trailer as well if you haven't already. I am really excited for that. Hopefully we get a ton more sets in the new year. But until then, may the bricks